Give me a hold your hand coming down. Are we gonna go to the store to get you some yummy fruit for a treat?
Yeah, treat.
Cause you've been sick.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. Hello.
Are y'all leaving now?
We're just going to the grocery store real quick. That's all. We'll be back. All right. See you in a little bit. Is that the fruit you'd like to pick? You want a banana? Okay, good thing. We've already got them in the cart. Got some bananas. Did you poot?
Yeah.
Are you blaming it on Graham? Was it Ellie or Graham?
No.
Is this lettuce?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and feel better in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I love you.
Love you.
You want a kiss?
Bye.
Poor little Ellie got sick today, just with a fever, no other symptoms. We don't really know what was going on. It's gone by the time she went to bed tonight, but she still feels a little puny. So we're planning on packing today because Ellie and I were going to move into the van in Asheville tomorrow. It's so close enough for Ellie and I to go ahead and move in. But with her getting sick with a fever today, we're gonna hold back and wait just a little bit longer before we move down there with Derek. Hopefully she'll wake up in the morning and be fine. I'm just gonna take a moment to enjoy some chocolate from Livermore. We have these left over from the trail still. They sent these with us and there's so many of them we couldn't even eat them all on the trail, so I'm just gonna have a mom moment and eat one of these topped with sea salt caramel coconut spread. I love bean. I'm currently going on almost 1 week of being short-term vegan, and with us getting ready to live in the van, we're going to be a lot more limited on what we can eat as far as perishable items go, like meats specifically. I think it'll really help us come up with some creative ideas for meals in the van. So since Ellie woke up sick this morning, I thought it would be an appropriate time for me to talk about first aid while backpacking with a baby. So the first thing I recommend is that you have a doctor who supports this decision because your child is healthy enough to do something like this. So we had Ellie go to a doctor before we left for the trail, a couple months before, so that she could be physically evaluated to make sure that this was okay for her to do and that she wasn't, that we weren't putting her life in risk in a medical way. And so she had blood drawn and just like had an overall check over just to make sure that everything was good. And we did find out that she was low on iron and that she needed an iron supplement, and so we took that with us on the trail. And so we were really glad that we went to the doctor ahead of time. And then once our doctor told us to take the iron with us, and then she said that like Ellie was like ready to go on something like this, she was 100% supportive. And so I recommend having a doctor that is going to be honest with you and be supportive at the same time. I've mentioned in other videos before that we left our full-time jobs in order to through hike the AT, which also meant dropping any kind of insurance that would have come with those jobs. However, we already didn't have standard insurance through our jobs. We had insurance, which it's not technically called insurance, but it's called a MediShare. It's like a medical bill sharing program, and so you still have like an annual household portion every year, and you still have like a monthly payment. So it like operates financially the same as insurance does, and basically it's like everybody's pooling together to pay for your medical bills. But really that's all like behind the scenes work. Like for us, all we do is we submit our bill and then it's covered after we do our deductible. So our deductible when we were on the trail, it was $2,500 a year for our whole family. And so it's not for everyone because, like I said, it is not technically insurance. However, for as many years as they have been around, they have covered 100% of their of the medical bills from people that are part of this bill sharing program. So it's not for everyone. Look into it, but again, that is called MediShare, and so we don't have to have like private insurance that can be extremely expensive. We also would never go uninsured, and we also choose not to do like government assistance, and so that is a great option for us, and it goes with you like no matter what job you're in, or if you're like unemployed for a time like we were on the AT or anything like that. So it goes from you from place to place, and like it never changes. You never have to inform them of like your new status of your new job. So we've talked about this in other videos before about a wilderness first responder certification, and we probably mentioned it in every other video because of how important I think it is if you're going to be taking a baby with you backpacking in remote places. And I would consider some places on the AT to be very remote, even though you are going through towns a lot. A wilderness first responder course will go into detail about what to do if a medical emergency arises when you're in the backcountry and what to do. And so you are given the skills you need, both like you're in classroom classes for a portion of the class that you take to get your WWOOFer certification, and then you're also in like a really intense time of practical hands-on skills, and then you're tested on those both in a like written form and then also in a practical form at the end of your course. In order for wilderness first responder to be valid, you also have to be CPR trained for adults and infants. The WWOOFer lasts 3 years, but CPR only lasts 2 years. So after 2 years, you have to be CPR certified again in order to get to keep your 3rd year of wilderness first responder. So if you have a baby, you know that they can wake up in the middle of the night with a temperature and you had no idea that they were even sick because they can't verbalize that to you. And so making sure that you have the information that you need in order to be able to take care of situations that come up and be able to kind of read their body and know what's going on is super important, and that's what the Wilderness First Responder course will teach you, is to read those signs when you've got a baby who is not able to verbalize what's wrong with them or what's going on, and I think that's super important. But at the bare minimum, if you don't want to invest in a Wilderness First Responder course, definitely get CPR certified for adults and infants both if you're going to take a baby with you. Or hey, even if you're not taking a baby with you, get CPR trained. So going back to getting your baby's doctor's approval on going on a through hike, I also would recommend you talk them through, like, hey, if you're going to be gone for a long time and you're going to be missing appointments or vaccinations, you need to talk that through with them. We came to the conclusion that it was better for Ellie to be gone for 6 months and have this experience. One thing for you to consider when you're thinking about vaccinations, if you do vaccinations for your child, is that if you kind of weigh out the pros and cons of it, one, you're not really going to be near like a lot of kids and like childcare facilities at all, daycare facilities at all. Like, I totally understand that infectious diseases that you get immunized for can be passed anywhere. However, I also believe that the most common places for those diseases to be and infections to be picked up is going to be somewhere that's really crowded, especially with like small children and babies, just because they aren't as sanitary. And so it's one thing that we decided, but you make your own decision based on your vaccination schedule that you do as well. And then if you just like really want to stick to the normal schedule, then you can always find a doctor along the trail that you could kind of try to coordinate with getting to them. I don't know what that would look like because we didn't do it, but I'm sure it is possible. So now I'm going to go into a first aid kit that we took with us on the trail. I literally just pulled it from our backpack from the trail. It's the only thing left in there. We haven't even taken it out of the pocket. So this is what it looks like right out of the backpack 6 months later. So first we have these Benadryl children's, like they melt in your mouth. We brought these in case Ellie had some kind of an allergic reaction to something that we didn't know she was allergic to. She does not have any allergies that we know of, but we brought these just in case. We never had to use them, and they're technically specified for older children, like probably 6 and older. However, this was like emergency only, that we would use these. These were only in case she like was like having a hard time breathing or something like that, where in that case we would have given her like maybe a quarter of a tablet or a half of a tablet. And then we also had these because whereas like children's liquid Benadryl, that was just like really cumbersome for backpacking, so these little melties work great. And then an adult could take these as well. You would just probably take like 2 of them, and so none of us had used these, which was awesome. The next thing in my pile here are just Band-Aids. We had Band-Aids of various different sizes. It looks like we have like maybe 10 left, something like that. I think probably in total we used, we probably went through 25 or 30 Band-Aids. I primarily used them on my feet because I had some shoes that just didn't work very well, and I got really bad blisters, and so I would use them on my feet. The other thing we used Band-Aids for, I sliced my fingers open in Maine. It was really wet, and I was walking on just kind of like slimy rock, which there's a lot of in Maine, and so I slipped on some shale and my fingers went down on shale that was like sticking straight up, and my fingers just sliced right through, and it took like 2 weeks for my fingers to heal. And so it was 3 of my fingers and I had them wrapped in Band-Aids. But other than that, literally I don't think we used Band-Aids for anything else. Ellie played with them sometimes. She would open them and play with them. Then we have this bag, which like the Band-Aids and everything should have been in this bag, but this is a waterproof bag made by Adventure Medical Kits, and we like how compact and small it is. So this is like a sterile sponge, and another one with 2. pair of gloves, and some antiseptic towelettes. Stuff. There's actually more that we had in our pack that I forgot about. So we took helichrysum essential oil with us, which is helichrysum essential oil will stop blood immediately. So for example, last week when Derek was working on the van, he sliced his fingers almost to the bone and they were pouring blood, and he dropped some of this helichrysum essential oil into the cuts and the bleeding stopped immediately. So we take that with us, and it's literally only 5 milliliters. It's tiny. I'll leave a link for that. Then we also had this little roll of medical tape that we took with us. This is a thermometer we use at home. We did not take this with us on the AT. This thing is like honking. We had just like a regular one, but I can't find it right now. But we had a thermometer with us in case we need to take Ellie's temperature. Never had to do that. And this is very similar to the style that the Benadryl tablets are, but these are Tylenol tablets. And so they are the same principle. They melt in your mouth. We got these in case we needed to like reduce a super high fever or something, but she literally never got sick. And so that's all that we took with us on the trail for a medical kit for Ellie. When we were out on the trail, I really feel like the exposure to the like just the natural surroundings and like fresh air all the time, and like the good bacteria that she was getting from like the plants and just like playing in the dirt all the time and not bathing. I think not bathing your child every single day really gives them a good immune system. So I feel like the combination of all of those things plus not being around a lot of other kids all the time, that really gave her like a super strong immune system. The only thing that ever happened to Ellie on our through hike was she was running down a gravel path and we were chasing her, like trying to like tickle her, and she tripped and fell and hit her nose on the gravel and she got a bloody nose, and it was really sad, but she was fine. So I hope this was helpful for you and you're planning a backpacking trip, if it's a weekend trip or if you're going all the way on a full through hike of a long distance trail. I hope it was just helpful for you. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Like this video if you want to see more, and also subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.